Hello guys, my name's Paige and I'm one of the oldest storytellers here. You see, my story is a little different. It's about the beautiful family I have with my husband Zayn and then stepdaughter Rayna. The villain in our lives was Jen, who used to be Zayn's ex-wife. Zayn and Jen had a whirlwind romance and ended up getting married young. They had a relatively happy life until Rayna was born. Suddenly, Jen didn't want to be a parent or a partner anymore, despite the pregnancy being her idea. So, what does Jen do when she feels conflicted? Does she see a therapist? Well, no. She simply ups and leaves. I started dating Zayn about a year after Jen left. Their divorce had just finalized and she had casually given Zayn full custody of Rayna. From the very beginning, Zayn made it clear that Rayna would be his priority. I was actually happy about it because I couldn't have kids of my own. Slowly, Zayn introduced me to Rayna and the rest was history. Rayna and I became very close and I always considered her my daughter. She actually started to call me Mom after she turned 11. Rayna used to be sad about her mom leaving, but eventually stopped caring. I mean, the woman didn't even contact her once after she left. However, one day, about 10 years after I met Rayna, Jen's back in the city, Paige. Her parents called me to warn us about this. Why did they need to warn us about this, Zayn? Who cares if she's where? Rayna doesn't want anything to do with her anyway. I know, but we have a different problem now. Apparently, Jen wants to have Rayna back in her life. She told her parents that she had come to take her daughter. I had no freaking idea why Jen thought we would just give her Rayna. Sure, she was her birth mother, but this woman didn't bother to be in her life for 12 years. It was just bizarre. Still, we took Rayna's grandparents' warning seriously. We sat down with Rayna to make sure Jen didn't try anything stupid when we were not around. Rayna was furious that Jen would even think of something like this. For a long time, we even felt she wouldn't do something so stupid. That was until she showed up on my doorstep demanding to be let in. I let her in and she said, "Where the hell is my daughter? Where's Rayna? Call her right now. Tell her that her mother is here." Rayna and Zayn are not home, Jen. You need to calm down and have a decent discussion about this. I don't want some stranger to tell me what I can or cannot do. You are nobody here, so I suggest you keep your mouth shut. Just go and get my daughter. I don't understand why you're being so hostile. I allowed you inside out of courtesy and you are just insulting me. I've already told you that Rayna is out with her father right now. Why don't you tell me what you want? Tell you? Who the hell are you, and why should I tell you anything about my daughter? Well, first of all, she is my daughter too. Apparently that was the wrong thing to say to her because Jen started to just scream at me. I was so taken aback by her rude and obnoxious behavior that I stood there stunned for a while. She kept screaming at me and said, "Rayna is my daughter, Paige. You don't get to call Rayna your daughter anymore. I'm here for her now. I will take her away because you are not her real mom. Don't you dare try to get between us, Paige. Just call Rayna here so that I can take her home." You have absolutely no right to tell me what to do with my child, Jen. You might be her birth mother, but I am the one who raised her. If you wanted to be her mother that bad, you shouldn't have left her in the first place. You little witch. First you take my husband and now you're after my daughter. I won't let you take Rayna away from me. She is my child. I laughed when she said that I had stolen her life. It was complete and utter bullshit. She may have forgotten the fact that she was the one who left her child behind. As for Zayn, Jen shouldn't have cheated on him if she wanted him that bad. Zayn and I weren't even on talking terms before she ran away, leaving him with Rayna. Jen was trying to deflect the blame and make me the bad guy. I wasn't going to let that happen. I am many things, but I am not a doormat. I looked Jen in the eye and said, "I didn't take anything away from you, Jen. You handed over your family when you upped and left. It's your fault that you lost your family." "Oh, no, 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 no. Nothing is lost. I may not get Zayn now, but I will have my child back. Rayna will come with me and I will make sure she never comes back to you again." Wow, you sound pretty confident, Jen. Bring it on then. I would like to see you try to take Rayna away from me. You just wait, Paige. I will wipe that smugness off your face soon. Rayna would run up to me calling me Mom once she saw me. I would love to see your face then. You think you can take someone else's child because you can't get pregnant? I will show you how wrong you are. That was it. Jen had hit the most sensitive spot of my life. She knew that it would hurt me. I didn't mind as much that I couldn't have biological children. I had Rayna, and she was more than enough, but the sadness was still there. I used to cry myself to sleep when Rayna would come home from school begging for a brother or sister. I didn't know what to tell her. I felt incompetent and useless for a long time. But then Rayna took away all my pain and sadness. She made sure I knew that she considered me her mother. Jen wanted to take that away from me, but I wasn't buying her lies. I said, "You were seriously confident about your own skills as a mother, Jen? In reality, you only birthed Rayna and took care of her for a few years. Then you abandoned her. Do you think you make a model mother?" It doesn't matter what I did back then. Blood is thicker than water. I know my daughter will come with me. You will never be her mother, no matter how many years you raised her. We will see about that, Jen. Why don't I call Zayn and tell him to bring Rayna over? You can just ask her yourself if she wants to go with you. Jen thought she could just walk into our lives and do what she wanted. She thought that she would just randomly show up and try to play family with Rayna. Well, she was in for a huge surprise. I knew my child well and trusted her to stand up for me. Besides, I knew full well that Rayna wanted nothing to do with her birth mother. I could tell Jen that all by myself, but I don't think it would have convinced her. She was taking great pleasure in reminding me that Rayna was her biological daughter. Jen was delusional enough to think that being biologically related to Rayna would give her the right to call herself her mother. She took great joy in reminding me that no matter how hard I tried to raise Rayna as my own, she would always choose Jen as her mom. If this was a different time, I would have felt pity for her. I wouldn't have forced Rayna to reconnect with her mother, but I would have tried to make things less painful for Jen. However, after today, I knew that this woman was beyond help. She did my daughter wrong, and it was time she finally faced the consequences of her actions. Rayna and Zayn arrived in record time as Jen sat in my living room looking smug as ever. I couldn't bring myself to be sorry for the shock that she was about to receive. In fact, I would have fun seeing Rayna tear her apart in front of me. Zayn and Rayna walked through the door, and Jen instantly ran to hug Rayna. To Jen's surprise, Rayna stepped aside and didn't even let Jen touch her. The smile on Jen's face faltered as she saw what Rayna did. Rayna was looking rather pissed, and so was Zayn. He said, "What the hell are you doing here, Jen? I told you to stay the hell away from my house." "Don't talk to me like that, Zayn. I can do whatever I want and go wherever I want to go. I needed to see my daughter, and I wouldn't let you or your witch wife keep her away from me." "Didn't you get the memo, Jen? I think we already told you how Rayna wanted nothing to do with you. You thought going against her wishes was the smart thing to do?" "Zayn, don't you dare teach me what I can and cannot do with my daughter. She has been away from her mother for a long time. But now I won't allow that to happen anymore. I'm here for my daughter, and there is nothing you can do to stop me." Zayn was growing more and more irritated as Jen continued to act irrationally. Her words had the opposite effect on both Zayn and Rayna. Instead of making her look like a devoted mother, Jen's words were making her sound like an entitled woman. Rayna's eyes blazed as she said, "What the hell do you want from me, Jen? There is nothing I can do for you. I don't know why you even bothered to show up when I clearly told you to stay away." "Rayna, how can you talk to me like that? Why are you using my name? I'm your mother. You should be calling me Mom." "Give me one good reason why I should call you my mom, Jen. I don't think you are deserving of that name in any way." But Rayna, I'm your mother. I carried you for 9 months and gave birth to you. You are my blood, my family, Rayna." Rayna's laugh was humorless when Jen said that to her. Jen was so lost in her dreams that she didn't expect Rayna to be so cold to her. Jen's shocked expression at Rayna's behavior told everyone how surprised she was. Things were not going as she had planned, and she was stammering to defend herself. She knew well enough that there was no real reason for Rayna to call her mom. Still, Rayna has to remind her, saying, "What makes you think giving birth to me automatically makes you entitled to be my mother? This is the first time I have seen you in 12 years. I know I've been away for a while, but now I'm back for you, Rayna. I missed you, and I can't tell you how much I've regretted my decision to leave. If you are here for forgiveness, it's of no use. I will never forgive you. As for your regret for not being in my life, yeah, I don't care about that either. You were the one who chose to leave, but you don't get to waltz back when you please and pretend everything is normal. Rayna, my dear daughter, I understand that you're mad at me, but please just hear me out. I had no other choice than to stay away. I was having a hard time with my life and needed to be better for you." "Excuse me? You were having a hard time with your life? You seemed super happy traveling the world and going to parties while my 5-year-old self cried myself to sleep. You were fine sending postcards to your parents about how happy you were with your new life, while I kept asking myself why you decided to leave me. Is this the hard life you're talking about?" Jen was now even more shocked when she realized that Rayna knew everything. Yes, we didn't hide things from her, and neither did her maternal grandparents. Initially, they had tried when she was young, but it all came crumbling down when Rayna accidentally found a postcard from fricking Belgium, where Jen was at that point. The postcard had a detailed account of how happy she was away from her life of responsibilities. Jen had also detailed how she never wanted to come back. Now that she did come back, no one can forget what she had said in the past. Jen still pushed on, saying, "Rayna, I was confused about what to do. I didn't want to come back and be a bad mother to you, so I waited until I was ready." "Again, Jen, those are absolute lies. I know you got married again and ended up living with 2 stepkids. You had no problems being their mom from the pictures I saw on Facebook. What happened, Jen? Did they abandon you after the divorce? Too bad for you. I would never have done that to you if you had been there for me." "Rayna, I tried to be their mom, it's true, but look, even they made me realize that only blood children can be real children." "Whoa, Jen, slow down there. Just because your stepkids didn't accept you doesn't mean I am like them. I know well enough how much my real mom has done for me. I love her with all my heart, and no one can take her place. And guess what, Jen? That real mom is not you." Jen was now stunned into silence. She hadn't expected to be hit with those words so directly. Rayna was on a streak and wasn't letting things go. She had a lot of pent-up anger within her, and it was time she said her part to Jen. Even Zayn didn't interfere because he supported Rayna. Jen was being torn into pieces by Rayna, and I will admit it was amusing to watch. Jen cried tears of sadness and said, "Rayna, how can you call someone like Paige your real mom? She didn't give birth to you. Hell, she only loved you because she can't have children. Stop. You will not utter one hurtful word about my mom. Paige may not have given birth to me, but she fulfilled all the responsibilities of a real mom. You don't even compare to her. Don't bother trying to change my mind because I'm just telling you the truth." "But Rayna, I need a chance with you. I know I messed up, but I'm still your mother. Can't you give me a chance?" "You are already too late, Jen. You had 12 years to make up for your mistakes. You didn't do shit about it. You don't deserve any more chances from me." At this point, Jen knew that changing Rayna's mind would be near impossible. My daughter was adamant that she wanted nothing to do with Jen. No one was helping Jen change her mind either. I knew well enough that her own parents didn't want to support her. I mean, they were the ones who warned us about Jen reappearing in our city, so Jen was on her own now that Rayna made her intentions clear. Jen was feeling helpless and instead turned to me and Zayn with accusations. "How dare you, Paige! You have turned my own daughter against me. You will pay for this. Zayn, what kind of a father are you who wants to separate his daughter from his mother? I am no one to separate my daughter from her mother, Jen. You were the one who chose to walk away. Did you think there would be no consequences for your actions? I never put words in Rayna's head, Jen. She formed her own opinions about you. This is all your wife's doing, I'm sure about it. Paige has put ideas into Rayna's head. She's just an old hag who cannot have children, so she steals children from others. You need to stop reading fairy tale stories, Jen. I didn't steal anyone from you. You had already left Rayna motherless for 2 years before I even met her in person. You have no right to her anymore. Don't make me out to be the bad guy when the real bad guy is you. Jen was now crying, but also super angry. She knew that whatever I was saying wasn't a lie. She has lost her right to call herself Rayna's mom after abandoning her for so many years. Jen's tears had no effect on any of us. Even Rayna was looking at her with a blank expression and didn't even try to comfort her birth mother. When Jen realized that emotional manipulation wouldn't work, she tried a different tactic. Little did she know that this would land her in a whole lot of other problems. She said, "Oh, I do have rights to my daughter, Paige. I know you guys haven't terminated my rights to Rayna. I will sue you two and go to court. After that, the court will grant me custody of Rayna." Are you kidding me, Jen? You will go to court and forcefully make Rayna spend time with you? Have you no regards for Rayna's feelings? It is clear to me that you and Paige have been poisoning my poor daughter against me. You think that I can't do anything to remedy it? Just you watch, Zayn. I have money now, so I can hire the best lawyers available. I will sue you into oblivion and take what is rightfully mine. Seriously, Jen? So now you have degraded yourself to threatening us? You have no shame, do you? Why would I have any shame? I'm just trying to get my daughter. Don't worry, Rayna. Your real mommy will do everything to get you back. I won't let some strange lady raise you anymore. Jen was really stupid, and her words just proved it. She was so lonely and desperate for a family that she was willing to force my daughter to spend time with her. Yes, Jen may have money now, but she clearly had no idea how the court system worked. We didn't have to correct her either. Rayna, my dear daughter, was there to point out the biggest flaw in her ridiculous plan. She literally laughed at Jen and said, "You are a different level of delusional. Do you know that, Jen? I'm so happy you never got to raise me properly. God knows what kind of a stupid girl you would have made me." Rayna, don't talk to your mother like that. I deserve some respect. I'm trying to make things right. Oh, so you're trying to make things right. Well, why don't we start with you paying back the child support that is due for the last 12 years? Jen looked at Rayna with a shocked expression on her face. She had no idea that Rayna would actually ask her about her pending child support. I mean, it should have been me or Zayn who reminded her of it. But it was Rayna who ended up reminding her of all the money that Jen never spent on her. Jen was now dumbstruck and stammering with her words. What child support? You know, the basic money that all mothers spend to make sure their child is clothed and fed, among other things. That child support. Dad, you still have the papers of her court-mandated child support, don't you? Yes, I have them safely stored in my locker for this very day. Thanks for reminding me, Rayna. Wait, you guys expect me to pay you 12 years' worth of child support? This is ridiculous. Why is it ridiculous, Jen? Any mother would do this for their child. Did your motherhood suddenly become too much for you to bear again? I wouldn't be surprised. Thankfully, I have my real mom, Paige, to take care of me. Well, I can take care of you now. Let's just leave the past in the past. Isn't that a part of moving on and giving people second chances? I don't know about that. It was my dad and mom who paid for everything. I don't really feel like letting you get away with all that unpaid child support. What do you say, Mom and Dad? Rayna looked at us with a small smile on her face. She was straight up giving us a hint and telling us to get Jen. Jen was now looking rather horrified and waiting for us to agree with her terrible logic. However, Zayn actually grinned at me, and I immediately knew what they were up to. Zayn then smirked at Jen and said, "I think you're right, Rayna. Your birth mother did get away with a lot. Plus, she should have paid us child support all these years. Now that she wants the court involved, it's best we do the same. Now, Jen may not have any regard for your feelings, but it is important to us. So, what do you say, Rayna? What do you want us to do? What do I want you to do? Well, sue her for child support and get her arrested. I'm pretty sure the court has summoned her and she refused to go in the past. It is all in the records. It's time we put it to good use and teach Jen that running away from responsibilities is not the smart thing to do. Do you guys understand what 12 years of child support may look like in dollars? Yeah, it's a hell of a lot. If we really did go to court, Jen would lose a lot of money. We also cannot forget the fact that she hadn't paid child support for years and actually fled the country after. This meant that she was for sure looking at jail time. Jen was now in deep trouble. She started to cry and beg us not to do this to her. Gone was Jen's smug confidence and bullshit about being the real mom. Now she simply wanted to get away from all the crimes she had committed. Very unsurprisingly, her need to have Rayna close was also gone. It just further proved the fact that Jen simply wanted to have Rayna because she was lonely. There was no change of heart or sudden rise of maternal instincts involved. Zayn, Rayna, and I already had enough of her drama, so we kicked her out immediately. Then we called the cops and told them exactly where she was staying. Now, I will tell you what happened after I called the cops. Well, she got arrested, of course. We did listen to Rayna and the case went to court. The judge had a field day assigning Jen various penalties for avoiding child support and for child abandonment. I'm happy to say that it left us with a lot of money while she landed a prison sentence. We are currently using that money to set up a college fund for Rayna and to buy her a new car. Meanwhile, we were also able to get Jen's rights terminated very recently. I'm happy to say that I have now officially adopted my daughter Rayna. We are living happily together, while Jen is getting the life she deserves.